see miracles start to happen where students move through materials that their parents and the student himself wouldn't have dreamed he could do, and quickly and thoroughly and with full comprehension. Now, we see this in every area. In the area of science, what we do is we offer 8 courses in upper school. And it starts with a course called Science Basics. Now, what Science Basics does is it explains to the student what science is. This has been one of the things education has done very badly. They throw a subject at you like history or science or creative writing, and they don't tell you what that subject is. Sometimes they tell you, and they tell you incorrectly. I read a textbook for, I think it was for chemistry. Yes, it was. It was for chemistry when I was putting together the chemistry course. And the very first sentence defined chemistry as the study of the interaction of matter and energy. But that's not chemistry. Chemistry is the study of atomic structure and how atoms combine into molecules and form substances. And physics is the study of the interaction of. So they got it dead wrong, and the poor student would have that as his definition. He's lost. He's dead. The very first thing a student needs is a definition of the subject he's studying. So our first science course is Science Basics. It defines what science is, and then what the building blocks of science happen to be. There's the whole idea of the scientific method, but the scientific method missed a basic building block, and I had to restructure it. It missed, the scientific method is you observe something, you come up with your theory, you do your experiments, and you have your conclusion. Well, there's a problem with that. The problem is there's no problem to solve. What the scientific method should say is, you have a problem that needs to be solved. There's somebody interested in solving it. He observes the problem, and then you're into the standard scientific method. That kind of thing does not help a student get an education. It leaves him in the dark. Okay, so I observed something, the student says, looking at the standard scientific method, the way it's normally taught. What do I observe? And there's no answer to that question because they haven't bothered to define it. In Science Basics, our first upper school science course, that's the first thing we define, is the scientific method. So what we do in each subject, creative writing, we talk about what creative means, what writing is. Every subject defines the subject, offers set lesson plans that never change in a river of courses that the student moves through at his own pace and masters the area. That's what we do.
Wonderful. Now, where can a person get the Connect the Thoughts courses?
The courses can be purchased directly at Currclick, C-U-R-R-C-L-I-C-K, Currclick.com. But you can find out a lot more about the courses on our site, which is connectthethoughts.net. And I would recommend anybody interested certainly should go to the site and find out a lot more about the curriculum. There are many articles, lots of information there.
Wonderful. Let's talk to Steve's son. So William is 16 years old, and he was the first student to complete upper school creative writing, science, and history. He started in private schools until he was age 10, and then he began his homeschooling with Connect the Thoughts. William.
Hi.
Hey. So how is using Connect the Thoughts different from your other school experiences?
Well, Connect the Thoughts has been for me a far more comprehensive curriculum to begin with. It covers periods of history and events, things in science that I simply would not know existed were it not for Connect the Thoughts. But also it goes beyond that in that because the student, me in this case, is taking charge of his own education, you can determine whether or not your educator, in this yourself, cares or not about your education. So, for example, you've got this gigantic classroom, you've got 20 students in the classroom all studying the same textbook. And say one student is bold enough to have a question regarding something in the textbook. Well, he can raise his hand and ask a question, but there's no guarantee that he's going to get an answer. With Connect the Thoughts, you can do your research, you can read the text in the course, and you will get an answer.
Wow, that's wonderful. What did you like best about Connect the Thoughts?
Well, I think my favorite thing for Connect the Thoughts, just on, the whole being a teenager social level, is the fact that I'm able to hold my own in a conversation, not just with my contemporaries, my teenage peers, but also I can have a conversation with an adult, and they'll treat me just like I'm another person and not like some kind of kid who's just kind of ambling his way through his education.
Excellent. And what's the most valuable thing about an education using Connect the Thoughts?
Well, the education itself, the education you receive from Connect the Thoughts, the level of it and what it contains and how you can actually apply the information you're given, I think would be the most valuable thing. Just the fact that you can apply the information that you're given, whereas with information that I received in previous educative struggles, you could not only not use, you could not understand it. So the fact is you can understand this and use it, and that's quite a concept.
Thank you, William. And thank you, Steven. To find out more about Connect the Thoughts, visit connectthethoughts.net, or you can download courses at kirklick.com.